So here we are, my man. This is either going to be, it is what, Tuesday, March 1st.
Yes.
Negotiations last night went well into the evening. I know I was up till about 1 a.m. Eastern time, just keeping an eye on what was going on with these negotiations, and they have been extended. 5 p.m. today is the deadline. So this is either going to be the greatest day of 2022, or it's going to be the biggest dagger in the heart baseball fans could possibly be given. And we're down to it.
Yeah, I think yesterday may have been the most appreciative I've ever been of us having a great Discord community because
Yes.
rather than just hitting refresh on my Google search for MLB news every 15 minutes, I was just Discord was basically just posting screenshots every time there was a
Just
noteworthy
updating
tweet.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It was great, honestly. Like I know I was doing the same thing. I couldn't help but screen cap and then post it, but I was not alone. There was about a dozen others in there. Mustard Tagger, SCTI, Frosty Forster. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's funny. I'm getting to the point where I know these guys by their handles now. Very cool, though. Very cool that everyone's so interactive and so into this. And I know we were all on the edge, right? Of either let's never watch baseball again and burn this whole stupid sport to the ground, and
yeah,
also being like, but we all know we're gonna come back. We're a bunch of losers. We can't help it.
yeah, we're addicted for
So we'll see
sure.
what happens here. We'll see what happens here. Welcome everybody. This is the Walk Off. I'm Scott Belford, joined as always by Adam Mack. We are doing the mailbag. We are going to talk a little bit about this lockout first. I know that I kind of jumped off the deep end 3 weeks ago, and there was a really good deal to get down to Florida. And I talked my wife into coming. I'm like, imagine if spring training actually happens. And now here I am in Florida, no spring training. Uh, cheap to get down here, but when there's not baseball, I'm like, it wasn't
You
worth it. I don't
you
know.
jinxed it, Scott. This is all your fault.
I
This is
jinxed
all
it. I
your
really
fault.
jinxed it. This is my fault. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right. So, what are your thoughts here, buddy? Do you think they get a deal done? Let's start with that.
so they did extend the
Most progress
deadline,
they've
right?
made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday
Yes.
afternoon was not looking good. I
No, it
think
wasn't.
around dinner time we were all kind of waiting for an official announcement that the game was about to be postponed, right? And that
Mm-hmm. Yep.
weeks, if not months, were going to be lost. Um, and then no announcement came, and like you said, they kind of just kept cracking away at it through the night. So I still don't feel good.
I
They made a
I
lot
don't
of
feel good, but
progress,
I'm
but they have a
starting to
long
think
ways to
this.
go.
So here is an interesting difference between 1994, their last work stoppage, and today. And that is in 1994, the fans truly believed that the players were being big babies, playing a kid's game, wanting more money than they already are making the millions they're making.
Hmm.
Now, fan perception has changed a lot in those 28 years, because the truth is you go online and the hate and the vitriol towards the owners has been thick. And I'm not saying that there aren't still some people out there that are like, come on, players, what the hell? But it is not a general consensus that it's the players and the owners that are to blame. A lot of that is just focused at the owners. I know a lot of MLB TV subscriptions were canceled to the point where MLB came out and was like, "Listen, we're not going to re-up your subscription,
Yeah.
pardon me, until a new CBA is done." And I'm sorry,
It's all good.
choking on my coffee here. But you know what? Like there was a lot of damage control being done by the owners that we didn't see in '94. So I think the owners are starting to be like,
How
we need
much?
to do something here.
Here's an
And
interesting
the players made some concessions.
here's an interesting idea. Do you think, because as you said, and I kind of saw it all week where Just speaking of those like MLB.TV subscriptions, all week, people were putting out these friendly reminders like, hey, your subscription's about to renew on March 1st. Make sure you cancel it. Do you think someone at the league office saw that and was like I don't know how much revenue they're getting from
Listen,
that, but it
it's
would be literally
it's a
millions of
drop
dollars,
in the
right?
it is. Now it's a drop in the bucket, but I think it was a real
A wake up call.
shot fired across the bow. A
Yeah.
little bit of a wake up call where they were like, "Yikes!" Like just the perception that was kind of put into place there
Mm-hmm.
made the owners go, "Okay, like fans are actually really upset." Now, the owners also have a lot of leverage in that they right now have truly the best group of young generational players that they maybe have ever had in
Mm-hmm.
baseball and are counting on the Vlads, Trouts,
The Juan Soto's.
Tatis's, Soto's, like literally, like name Acuna's, there's a pile of them that the Bichettes to bring the fans back. However, I do think that they started to realize that they really are playing with fire here. We'll see. Like, the games could still be canceled. They might still negotiate today and just wind up tossing the whole thing. But yeah, some major, major progress made late last night. So we'll see where things land from there.
Well, I really hope by the time anybody sees this video or listens to this episode, this is
Yeah.
just so out of date and a deal has been signed.
Yes.
And Freddie Freeman is getting fitted for his Blue Jays gear. Like, I just hope. We're just.
I'm with you, buddy. Well, let's get into the questions here, Mailbag, because like you said, hopefully by tonight, hopefully this is an outdated episode.
All right. Well, first one comes in from YouTube, and this one is a shot at me. This comes from David, who says, "Why is Adam always looking down?" I'm looking down at my laptop screen. I've got my camera on a tripod in front of me. And I'm always looking down because I'm always babysitting the tech side of the production. So whether that's running the streaming software or just looking down at my screen for questions and stuff like that in the live chat and so on. I hope I fixed it.
And because of your lack of confidence.
And I can't look Scott in the eye, all right? Whether it's through a screen or not. If you thought I was intimidated by Scott, just wait till you see me with Dan Schulman. No, I've got my laptop is now propped up further away and on a box of crackers. So hopefully now I look a little more like I'm looking at the camera. I will say though, it is surprisingly hard when I'm doing a video conference like this. I'm not using my built-in webcam on my screen. So because my webcam is in a different location, it is hard to not look at who I'm talking to and look at the camera. I don't know if that makes sense, but It is kudos to anybody who does that or anybody who's actually on TV and is able to look at the big cameras. So,
well, you're a multitasker. Like that's what this is really about. You're babysitting everything else going on. Well, I get to just concentrate on looking into the camera.
You're giving me too much credit there. I'm not doing much. Next one comes from. Anyway, sorry. The looking down thing is something that I've been aware of for a long time, and I'm super self-conscious about it. So I appreciate anybody pointing it out. I'm also due for a haircut, so if anybody wants to point that out too, that might help. What I really need is I need everybody to start commenting like, "Why is Adam always looking so fat?" And then maybe I'll finally get my ass in shape. I gotta just make a more full body shot here. You guys are just seeing me from the chest up, so it hides a lot. The camera adds 10 pounds. Not if it films you from the shoulders up, it doesn't. All right, so this next one now comes from Chris Oliver on YouTube. Says, enjoyed watching the long toss last night. Yes, the North Grandstand at Exhibition Stadium was special. If you find a way to invent a time machine, sit in section 35, parallel with the runway. Uh, that's a dated reference that I don't follow, to be completely honest.
So this is
I
before
can't
both
relate.
you are yours and I's time. Yes. I became a Jays fan when they were already in Skydome.
We uh, we got on the topic during long toss of um, one of the questions came in from YouTube live chat about what's our favorite MLB stadiums that we've been to, and then we kind of all got into discussions of fond memories of the past, of road trips down to Seattle and what
Mm-hmm.
have you. And a lot of talk about the old stadiums and Olympic Stadium there in Montreal and stuff like that. So that's what that is referring to for anybody that didn't tune in. But then the comment attached
Very
to the
cool too. I know
no,
I
go ahead.
missed long toss on Sunday, but we do this every single 6 o'clock Eastern till 8 o'clock on Sundays. And I was very jealous rewatching long toss yesterday. Just I was like, man, what a good episode. I would have loved to have chimed in on this.
Yeah, a lot of fun. It's
Sorry to
gonna
cut you
be
off there.
no. It's gonna be a lot of fun once the ball season starts.
Oh,
And
isn't
because we're
it?
gonna have those Sunday afternoon games, just watch ball for 3 or 4 or 5 hours, and then
Yeah.
take a little break, and then just get to kind of chat and recap the week and where the Blue Jays are doing and everything like that. So, anyways, the comment attached is we have to keep Vladdy at first base. Playing third base will affect his hitting. So, again, that is a topic we kind of talked about on Sunday with like the
That
Freddie
tends to be the
Freeman
general
news, right?
consensus on this, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the question was like, look, I know all the experts are saying like, don't do it. It's crazy to even suggest it. Never gonna happen. Um, but and this was the funny. He's like, but I'm not asking you as baseball experts. I'm asking you as baseball idiots. Give me a reason to get excited about Vladdy moving to third, right? So we did kind of just play it out as like, could it
Best
work?
shape of his life.
Best shape of his life. I mean, the hype is there. If you follow him on social media, you've seen
Hmm.
he's looking good. But yeah, I don't think that's realistic to have him playing at third. So
We
next
could
one,
see him play 40 games, though.
could see him play 40 games. Yeah, I still feel like that's
A lot,
honestly.
yeah.
I think. Ooh, here. Okay, here's an interesting debate. Let's dive into this. Now that you mentioned that, you'd rather see him play 40 games at third base. Let's say 100 games at first, and then like 20 at DH. Right.
Yep.
I would rather see him play 125 games at third base and the rest at DH and just not play first at all.
Interesting.
Like I would
Okay.
rather just from like in terms of development and whatever, I would rather just like if we are gonna give him a shot at third, we just
Give
go
him a
all
shot.
in on
I
it.
get
We
it.
go, this is your
Yeah.
thing. Like just focus on that. Put that first baseman's glove back into storage. Like let's just you know
You're going to
focus on
need it
that.
when you're 28, but for now,
Yeah,
you're third base.
exactly. Exactly. Um, no, I. One point Joel brought up on Sunday about Vlad playing third is like playing third. He's gonna start missing time. Like he's gonna have to take more time off. Right? It's
Hmm.
more of a grind. It's more demanding. It sure is nice getting to see Vladdy for 160 games, whether it's that first base or DH, just having him in the lineup all the time, right? And playing first base could prolong his career.
That is a very good point. And I mean, he did play 161 games last year, and the one game he had off, he did not want off. So, like, that is something that is a very good point about first base. And we all know that third base is a grind, it's the hot corner. And absolutely, he probably would have needed at least 5 to 10 games off. So, yeah, having that bat in the lineup every single day, 162 games a year, put him at first.
All right. Next one comes
Unless
from.
you can get Freddie Freeman, in which case, do whatever you want. Like,
Next one comes from Scott McCutcheon, who uh, made it very clear to preface his comment by saying, "Look, I'm not against expanded playoffs. There are some good arguments in favor of it, but." He says, my issue with expanded playoffs is that it cheapens the regular season and that baseball, unlike all the other sports, requires so many games to get an accurate picture of a player and a team's abilities. Then when the playoffs come, basically a brand new season, and it doesn't matter if you won 16 extra games than the other team and are clearly better. If they're hot and you're not, you could be gone. With that sort of system, earning the right to be there should require more than just a 500 season, in my opinion.
well, Scotty, I'm going to tell you, the players are right there with you. I know one of the big sticking points last night that looks like has been decided is that they would not move from 12 teams to 14. The MLBPA very, very vocal about that. And in fact, I was reading that this isn't a 50-50 split. 50% of the players are like, we really like, this is a consensus amongst the players. And this is why it was one of the biggest sticking points. And they actually moved back on the CBT. They moved back on arbitration, all to make sure to get that not to jump to 14 teams. Now, I think the owners might like they conceded on this because they feel that next time they negotiate the CBA, expansion may have already happened. And so going 14 teams with 32 MLB teams all of a sudden makes a little bit more sense, right?
You know what? Also
Do you see where I'm
yeah,
going with that? Like just
yeah,
because
I do.
the argument of the playoffs being watered down if there's more teams becomes a little bit more invalid, right? You know, like half the at 14 with 30 teams, it's almost half the teams are making the playoffs, but you add a couple teams and all of a sudden it's not a 50-50 split. And I know it's only two more teams, but it helps.
Yeah, it does make a little difference. So I guess the solution here is we just play fewer games, right? We go down to like a 50 game season and
And everybody
playoffs.
makes the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that Jock Peterson quote you sent me?
Oh yeah. What
Hold
was
on.
that?
Oh, I got it right here. So he says, this is
Yeah.
a tweet from Jock Peterson, who, by the way, I love. He says, so it's official. We will play 162 games, 7 innings each. 32 teams make the playoffs, and everyone gets a trophy. So, some frustration from the player side, kind of all over social media yesterday. I saw the Bryce Harper posted on his Instagram a picture of him in a Japan League team uniform, and
The Giants.
was like, "Hey, I know you have Scott Boris's number. Give me a call," kind of thing, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't like 14 teams.
Yeah.
I would rather 16 team playoff than 14 team playoff. 12 feels good to me.
Yes.
Like I think 12 I'm happy with. I don't.
My biggest thing with 12, dude, is that it eliminates the one game wild card, which I am all for. I would way rather watch a 3-game series. Now, listen, these ghost wins and stuff that they're trying to negotiate and talk about, and this new structure of, you know, the top team moves on, gets the bye to the division series, and then the 2 division winners pick which teams they play, and then one gets a home game, and then one guy starts a game up on the other. Like, it gets pretty messy. I don't know if I like that, but I do like the idea of 12 teams instead of 14 for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't like the idea of having a bye in baseball.
Me neither.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Baseball's such a momentum-driven sport that it does kill it.
It is. I honestly, I don't even like I know you don't like the 1-game wild card playoff game, whatever. I don't like a 1-game series in baseball at any level. I don't like the 3-game series, to be honest. I think I think if you play 7, like it should be a best of 7. I don't know, it fits the schedule. I know to have shorter series because you're getting pretty late in the year and blah blah blah. But
Hmm.
I think if you play 162 games and let's say six, just for argument's sake, 16 teams make the playoffs, and you've got the Dodgers who are like 15 games ahead of whoever, the Giants, right? If they're playing a best of 7, I don't
Hmm.
care how hot you are going in. Over 7 games, the better team should prevail most of the time. And I'm not too worried about an
Yeah.
upset. Like, the Braves were a fun little Cinderella story last year. So, I don't know. I don't. There's a lot of, like, rhetoric about the expanded playoffs really waters down the value of the season and why even play 162. I don't buy into that. I mean, I
That's
just,
fair. Yeah.
you know,
I
be
get the
good,
argument,
win,
but yeah.
you know. All right. So
All right.
let's move on from that then. So this one comes in from our Discord, kind of related. Um so SCTI says, "Let's talk realignment for a bit. I think in the situation where we go to a 12-team playoff, it would work best with 4 divisions instead of we currently have 6, correct? And the
Hmm.
top team in each division gets a bye. So 2 divisions per league, 2 divisions in the AL, 2 divisions in the NL. Top team in each division gets a bye, and then the 4 wildcard teams in each league play a best of 5 series with no off days. Still an advantage to the regular season winners. Wildcard teams would be the next 4 best records in each league, regardless of division. Thoughts? It doesn't completely balance the schedule, but it helps. And it's also time to retire interleague play. So a lot to dissect there, Scott.
Okay, so to start with, I like the idea of it. I don't like the idea of the buy. Again, we just talked about that, especially if you're going to win your division and then you're sitting around for a week before you play
Mm-hmm.
the winner of the wild card series. That I think is going to be a sticking point, and I don't know if the players would be into that. We'll see how they structure this. As for interleague play, in all honesty, I would, especially with the universal DH rule coming into play here, I'm fine with interleague play. Like, I'd rather more of it than watching the Blue Jays play all their AL East competition 19 times a
Yeah.
year, right? Like, I would way rather watch the Jays go and play the Reds or the Brewers or the Dodgers than I
Mm-hmm.
would like to see them play the Orioles, for 6 series. But that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on this too because obviously we're in one of the, if not the toughest divisions in all of baseball,
Yes.
right? We saw it last year with Rays, Yankees, Red Sox, and Blue Jays all having 90 plus wins. I mean, that's a pretty deep division. And the Orioles
Yeah.
also contributed another 30 or 40 wins themselves. Um, I do like having like rivalries in baseball, though, right? And I do think that
True.
having divisions really helps with that. So, as
But
much as
here's the
we
thing.
don't, yeah,
I feel like if they were to play their divisional rivals 14 times a year instead of 19, that's
yeah,
still going to develop a rivalry. Like, you're still going to hate the Yankees. You're still going to despise the Red Sox. You're still going to go into Tampa Bay at Tropicana and be like, this again. You're still going to be like, the Orioles suck.
yeah. Um, you know what I wish though? I think I wish that it was more heavily weighted, like the divisional games were more heavily weighted towards September, right? Like if you got one series against each of your division rival, your one series against each team in your division in April, and then like won again kind of midway through the summer, and then by September it was like we're just grinding it out and we're playing everybody 2 or 3 times through August and September.
Well, that's what it felt like last
It
year.
did
Like it
feel
seems
like
like
that
it
last year.
stacks up that way a lot, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I hear you. No,
Um,
it's a good comment. Thank you, SCTI.
so the next one comes from the real Drew Man on Twitter. Says
Oh, this made me laugh.
baseball Twitter is like 33% reminder to cancel your MLB TV subscription, 33% fireman fraud, 33% just figure it out already, and 1% is like the minor leaguers make how much? So
Yeah, that's GD Ma. It's funny because I'd posted the MLB.TV's tweet, which was like, "Hey, just everybody stop cancel." Well, they didn't say stop canceling. They were like, "Hey, we're not going to charge you or renew your subscription until a new CBA is in place." And then I, quote tweeted it and said, "Translation: Please stop canceling your subscriptions." And then he commented on that, and it just made me laugh. I love that.
oh man,
Because really, like minor leaguers make what? Like,
yeah, it's gonna be rough for a lot of people. I know you and I were talking about earlier in the day yesterday that when talks did not look like they were close, we were actually, I guess, starting to consider like, do we pull the trigger on a minor league baseball TV subscription and just start following the Buffalo Bison religiously?
we weren't even on the fence. We were straight up like, fine, we're a
that's
Bison's podcast now.
Yeah. It's true. I believe the conversation was, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And then the response was, "Yeah, should we put it on your credit card or mine?" So it's a pretty short discussion.
I've even got my Buffalo Bison or my Buffalo baseball shirt on here. Yeah,
perfect. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully by the time I even publish this, it's
Yes.
a moot point and we're all celebrating. So, all right, this next one comes in from Sarah's Not Here, man, on Twitter, and this says, "Boys, can you clear something up for me? With minor league spring training starting, is that going to be any player? Sorry, this." With minor league spring training starting, is that going to be any player that would start in the minors? I know Zach Logue hype has been gaining steam. Will he be able to play in Buffalo? Good question.
So great question. We just had Zach Logue on the long toss a couple weeks ago. I know we talked to Hagen Danner about a month ago and brought this up to both of them, and both of them are like, no, we're kind of screwed. If you're on the 40-man roster, you are not allowed to participate in baseball activities on a major league under that major league umbrella in any way. And that does mean that Logue and Danner are out in the cold right now until there's a new CBA, just like all the rest of the major league players. So unfortunately, that is not the case, which is a big bummer to these guys, these bubble dudes. Like you got to feel for them because this is really their opportunity, their chance to make their MLB debut, to make some real progress in that baseball career they've been chasing for years. And
well, especially those AAA guys like that are right on the cusp. I mean, look at what Alek Manoah did with the start to his AAA season last year, right?
100%. You never know when the guys are going to take that next step. And so it is a bummer when these bubble guys, need to, I should stop calling them bubble boys, but yeah.
Meat boys.
Meat boys.
All right, last one here. This one comes from Marcus on YouTube. Says, "Great chat, guys. I was especially..." Oh, this is a comment on our interview with Scott Mitchell of TSN.
Oh, Scotty Mitchell, what a great interview that was, eh? We'll have him back for sure.
For sure. So great chat, guys. I was especially intrigued by his comment about Trevor Story potentially taking a 1-year prove-it deal a la Marcus Semien, maybe in the 20 to 25 million range. My question for the hashtag mailbag, well played, sir,
yes,
is if he goes that route, if he gets to a point where he's not going to get a long-term multi-year deal, Can any team realistically offer him a more favorable prove-it situation than the Blue Jays? I can't
No.
think of one.
I'm just going to say no. I think the Blue Jays 100% could offer him $25 million over 1 year. I think Trevor Story would love an opportunity to hit in the middle of this Blue Jays lineup.
Yeah.
I think that it would really help rebuild his value. I think it would show that he could play third base, which is positionally something he'll probably need to do to get the money that he's after, right? Is move off a shortstop. He's an average shortstop, and as he gets older, his glove is not what it used to be. I think that Trevor Story would be great for the Jays. Not a lefty bat, though.
Well, and he's a lot of the hype with Trevor Story doesn't come, like you said, from his defensive skills. It comes from the power that he's shown in his bat.
Yes.
He's hit
100%.
But I know that there is some skepticism around his power, given that he plays in
Denver,
Colorado. So,
yeah,
it would be a good opportunity for him to just show that, like, hey, it's not the altitude. I've got some power in my bat. I kind of really like this idea of Trevor Story
I don't
just
mind it
being
either.
a bridge at third base until, give Jordan Groshans another year of development. Let's start Groshans at third base in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give him a full year to develop down there and then bring him up for 2023. I mean, it's no Jose Ramirez, but if that's our plan B, that's it's a
pretty solid
option.
plan B.
Pretty good option.
Absolutely. Yeah, loved it. All right, buddy. I hate to do this, but I got to check out of this hotel in like 8 minutes. So we're going to wrap it up here. Just a reminder to everyone, too, we've finally got our Patreon up and going. It is March 1st, so you won't be double charged. I know we posted it in our Discord yesterday, and we're like, don't subscribe yet because they will double charge you. So we do have our movie reviews. We've got 2 tiers, one for $4 a month, and that allows you we don't want to put anything behind a paywall, Blue Jays related, so all of our stuff is still going to be available to everyone. However, if you would like to see our movie reviews or just wish to support us, that would be awesome. That's $4 a month. And then if you want a coffee mug along with that, that becomes $14 a month.
Yeah, very cool. So the 3 movie reviews that we do have up right now is Bull Durham. You can see that for free right now on YouTube. But then we've also got Mr. Baseball was our January movie review. And then Major League was our February movie review. So a lot of fun.
And March is going to be a league of their own.
Yes, a league of their own. So some real classics I'm sure everybody's seen. And then also in our Discord, we are having some nominations being made for some wild card movies for us to review. So we've got our list in our Discord.
So join our Discord too. We've got the link up in our we're walking on each other here, Adam. Normally we're so much smoother together. I missed one long toss and all of a sudden our rhythm's off.
It's all good. You're on holidays. Go enjoy the rest of your holidays. I know this Friday I'm not going to join you either, right? So we've got Joel Hey Kami from TikTok.
Hey Kami's taking over.
Going to be our backup host. So all right, man, enjoy the rest of your holidays, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Absolutely. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Bye.